a child, the world made sense in 64 squares. I poured my heart out into that world. I would spend hours hunched over the chessboard, not just moving pieces, but searching for the patterns, the possibilities, the hidden connections that can turn a simple pawn into a game changer. I loved the challenge of seeing ahead, of imagining the future before anyone else. That love for foresight led me to win the Susan Pilgar Foundation National Chess Championships and even represent the United States on the world stage. After that, my dream was simple, to become a world chess champion. But life, as it often does, had a different game in store. After the championships, I traveled to India to visit my grandmother. I walked into her room, eager to see her and excited to share my stories. But when I stepped inside, I realized something was very different. I could see her, but she could not see me. She had lost her vision to retinopathy, a disease that heartbreakingly is preventable. She held me, her tears falling, and I felt a profound sense of loss. Something inside me shifted. That dream to become a world champion faded, and in its place, a new, more urgent dream took root. That moment planted a seed deep inside my heart, a mission to help others facing preventable blindness. Her tears continued to water that seed every day of my life. Then the world changed again. The COVID-19 pandemic arrived. The school hallways and the chess tournaments were replaced by quiet days at home. But in that silence, I discovered a new world, not of 64 squares, but of infinite possibilities. Artificial intelligence. I wasn't an expert, no one in my family was, but I was determined to learn. So I turned to free online courses from Harvard and MIT, and I found myself captivated by lectures from Professor Andrew from Stanford. Our dining table turned into the AI lab. My parents and my little brother were my first students. We learned together, we failed together, we celebrated the small victories. Through this journey, I realized something very powerful. You don't have to be a tech genius or a prodigy to make an impact. Curiosity and resilience, those are the real superpowers. With those, anyone can turn a challenge into an opportunity. As I learned more, my purpose grew clearer. I realized I could combine my love for science and technology with my mission to address vision loss. This led me to develop a generalizable AI model integrated into a simple mobile retina tracker. In fact, last month, I presented that research at Salem, one of the world's most prestigious gatherings for AI in medicine. It reminds me of what Steve Jobs once said. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Looking back, I can finally see the thread that connects a chessboard in America to a tearful moment in India to an AI lab in my home. The patterns on a chessboard, the patterns of blood vessels in an eye, the patterns hidden in millions of lines of code. They were part of the same language, the language of foresight. Nowhere is the need for foresight more urgent or more powerful than in the fight against preventable blindness. So how exactly do we prevent blindness? I started by asking a bigger question. What if we could see health before it fails? As it turns out, the answer is right in front of us. We've all heard the phrase, the eyes are the windows to soul. But modern science reveals there's something far more revolutionary. The eyes are in fact a literal window into the health of our entire body. Unlike any other organ, the eye is the only place where you can directly and non-invasively see the blood vessels and nerve tissue in real time without a single cut. Why is this so important? Because of two profound biological connections. First, the vascular connection. The tiny, delicate blood vessels in the back of the eye share the same fundamental properties as the much larger vessels in our heart and brain. This means that changes in those retinal vessels directly mirror what's happening in our cardiovascular system and give us early warning signs into conditions like hypertension, stroke, and heart disease. Secondly, the neurological connection. This is even more direct. The retina isn't just connected to the brain. Embryologically, the retina is brain tissue. The optic nerve is not just a peripheral nerve. It's a direct extension of the central nervous system. This means that diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's often leave their earliest fingerprints on the retina. This isn't science fiction. It's a field called oculomics, which is the science of decoding the vast information in our eyes to detect, predict, and understand systemic diseases throughout our body. For decades, we've known that these connections existed, but we lack the technology to really understand what story the eyes were telling us. Until now. Now, a perfect storm of technology has arrived, creating a powerful toolkit that is unleashing these secrets at an unprecedented scale. This toolkit has two parts, the hardware and the software. So first, the hardware. This is the advanced imaging that captures the data. Today's eye imaging is nothing short of miraculous. Fundus photography gives us colorful snapshots of the back of the eye. Think of it like a selfie, but for your retina. Then there's optical coherence tomography. It works like an optical ultrasound, creating cross-sectional 3D maps of the retina's layers. It lets us spot changes invisible to the eye, and also measure the thickness of nerve fibers, a crucial capability for detecting glaucoma and neurological diseases. But having these beautiful, detailed images is only half the story. Here's the challenge. These images have millions of pixels and have countless subtle patterns. How do we find that one subtle disease-predicting pattern hidden in a million pixels? No human, no matter how skilled, could possibly analyze all of those images. That's where the software comes in, artificial intelligence. AI, especially a type of AI called deep learning, is able to recognize these patterns in the images, patterns that even some experts might miss. It's pattern recognition on a superhuman scale. And this technology is only accelerating. For years, we could only train AI to spot one disease at a time. But now we're seeing a leap forward with something called foundation models. One of the most exciting is RedFound, the first foundation model for ophthalmology. Think of it like a master specialist for your eye. Trained on millions of eye scans, it's able to detect dozens of diseases, dramatically speeding up the pace of discovery. Importantly, this isn't a mysterious black box. Thanks to a field called explainable AI, we can actually see what the algorithms are focusing on. Tools like heat maps show us exactly what parts of the image the AI is looking at to make its diagnosis. This builds trust and allows doctors to validate the results, ensuring that a human expert is always in the loop. Let me show you what this looks like in action. This is an AI app that I built that diagnoses eye disease and is able to be used on any device. Imagine, you take a picture of your eye, upload it, and almost instantaneously, the app tells you what disease you have and makes a diagnosis, while keeping the data completely private and secure. This is what's possible when you combine powerful imaging with advanced AI. AI is turning these simple eye exams into powerful, accessible eye screens, bringing specialist-level care into the community. So we have the hardware to find what's inside the eye, and we also have the software to understand what we're seeing. What does this mean for us? This means that we're shifting the very purpose of a medical test. The goal is no longer to just tell you that you are sick. The goal is to predict that you might become sick and then give you the power to prevent it. So let's talk about what this revolution actually means for people and how it's changing medicine. Starting with the mission that began my own journey. Let's take diabetic retinopathy. Millions of diabetic patients are supposed to get an annual eye exam, but so many don't due to cost, time, or access. Now, thanks to AI, a medical professional with minimal training in a rural clinic can take a retinal photo, upload it, and in just a few seconds, get an expert-level diagnosis. The same is true for glaucoma and age-related macular degeneration, the leading causes of vision loss in older adults. AI models can detect these conditions with remarkable accuracy, often years before the first symptoms occur. Now let's zoom out from the eye to the rest of the body. Because the blood vessels processes in the retina and the cardiovascular system are so similar, the eye acts as the perfect surrogate to non-invasively study our cardiovascular health. We now have AI tools that can accurately detect heart disease from a retinal scan that has the same predictive power as a cardiac CT scan. Think about that. A cardiac CT scan involves a hospital visit, radiation exposure, and significant cost. A retinal scan, on the other hand, is fast, non-invasive, and can happen during a routine eye exam. AI isn't just finding disease, it's fundamentally changing the experience and economics of screening for the world's #1 killer. Now, the biggest breathtaking discovery came when AI gave us a glimpse into the one place we thought was forever locked away, the future of our own minds. Let's talk about Parkinson's disease. For Parkinson's, we can only diagnose it after the motor symptoms, the tremors, have appeared. In other words, after significant irreversible damage has already occurred. But what if we could see that coming? AI has been able to analyze several changes in retinal photos to accurately predict Parkinson's disease up to 7 years before the first symptoms occur. And the story is even more exciting for Alzheimer's disease. The toxic amyloid plaques that build up in the brain of an Alzheimer's patient actually show up in the retina as well. AI can detect these microscopic changes 10 to 15 years, spotting the warning signs decades earlier. This changes everything. For diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, we've been fighting a battle that's already mostly lost by the time we know we're in it. This technology, artificial intelligence, gives us a window, a decade-long window, to intervene. We're shifting the goal from slowing decline to preventing onset altogether. And while the eye is a remarkable window to the health of our body, it's just one example of how AI is transforming medicine. Across the world, AI is helping doctors find cancers faster and more accurately than ever before. In radiology, AI systems can now catch breast cancers that were missed by expert radiologists up to 40% of the time. That's boosting detection rates without increasing unnecessary follow-ups. In dermatology, AI tools can spot melanoma, the deadliest skin cancer, with 97% accuracy, saving lives and freeing doctors for the toughest cases. And now we're seeing the rise of the digital twin, a virtual replica of your organs, or even your whole body. Imagine a personalized simulation of how your heart will respond to a new medication, or how your brain will change over time. These digital twins are already guiding treatment for heart rhythm disorders, optimizing cancer therapies, and helping doctors plan the best path forward for each patient. Now, with all this talk of AI, you may wonder, are we building a future where machines replace doctors? Absolutely not. AI is a tool, one that empowers clinicians, not replaces them. AI is the stethoscope of the digital age, powerful in the right hands, but never a substitute for human empathy, compassion, and judgment. I have deep respect for all the doctors, nurses, researchers, and clinicians who dedicate their lives caring for others. AI is here to just help them do what they do best, only better. For example, a recent study compared AI and human experts in classifying diabetic retinopathy. The results were striking. AI matched, and in some cases, even outperformed human graders in assessing disease severity. AI even caught several signs of vision-threatening disease that some clinicians missed, ensuring that patients got the urgent care they needed. The real magic comes when humans and AI work together, combining the best of both worlds to catch what neither could see alone. So what does this mean for all of you? We're living in a time where the tools of discovery, once locked away in university labs, are now more accessible than ever before. You don't need a PhD, a fancy lab coat, or a wall full of diplomas to make a difference. All you need is curiosity, resilience, and a willingness to learn. If a high school student like me could build an AI app in her living room, present at international conferences, and contribute to the future of medicine, then so can you. The barriers to entry are falling. The open source movement, collaboration mean that anyone, anywhere, can take part in this revolution. So I invite you, whether you're a student, a parent, a teacher, or a professional in any field, to find your why. What is the reason that you're staying up at night? What problem, what person, what moment drives you to make a difference? Because the future of medicine and the future of every field will be shaped by those who are bold enough to ask what if and persistent enough to find the answer. Let me leave you with this. In chess, the best moves aren't always the flashiest. They're the ones that see the whole board, the patterns, the possibilities, the moves yet to come. The eye is our window, AI is our lens, and each of us is the next player in this game of discovery. So what will your next move be? Thank you.